Massachusetts cities. How many are there? I only have 10 fingers. Hey everyone, Matt Swerk here. I'm a local real estate expert right here in Massachusetts with the Legacy Star team powered by Keller Williams Realty. Now, this is the first time to our channel. Hi, welcome. You definitely want to hit the little subscribe button, hit the like button, so when we make new videos, you're going to get notified. Why would you get notified? Well, we talk everything about Massachusetts, whether it's eating, sleeping, playing, drinking, some of the major cities here in Massachusetts. You have lots of questions. We have lots of answers. Reach out to us any way possible. Remember, when it comes to Massachusetts, we've always got your back. All right, so today we're talking, there's so many different cities in Massachusetts, and we don't want to bore you and have you shut the whole thing down and say, oh my gosh, like I just wasted all my life here. Not all your life. So we're going to hit some of the major cities that we have here in Massachusetts. No specific order. We're just kind of throwing a couple dots at the dot board and seeing what happens. So the first one we want to talk about is Brockton, Massachusetts. Now, it's funny because when we put this list together and I just started thinking about, how does it make me feel? That's kind of like, how do these cities make us feel and what are the thoughts around the cities? So the first one is Brockton, Massachusetts. And I just had the chills as I said it. The reason why I have the chills and what I think about Brockton, I go back to when I was a kid and I was playing, I was in high school, not in high school anymore, as you could tell, lost a couple of hairs. Anyway, so when I grew up in Quincy, we played Brockton. Anytime that we were going to play Brockton, it was like, put your head under the covers because we were going to get shellacked. And every single time, we were like, what are they putting those boys? They were just beasts of men, like 15 years old. So they weren't even men, but they were like, oh my gosh, like mustaches, beards. No, I'm kidding. So Brockton was a really intimidating city. And, back then, way back when I was a kid, Brockton didn't have the best reputation. It was a rough city. However, over the years, just like a lot of cities, and probably the same thing with your communities, things have changed. They've reinvested, and it's funny because I could put my hands up like this, and that's another thing I think about when I think Brockton. Rocky Marciano, right? Big boxer, heavyweight champion from 1952 to 1956. He's beloved in that city, so it's a great location south of Boston. Get there off of Route 24. I don't think we've ever brought that road up before. That's off of Route 95. Here's a confusing thing. Route 128/95. I'm not going to get into that, like that whole mess of what that looks like. But it's kind of nestled between that road and Route 495. The reason why I'm saying I don't want to get into that mess is Route 128 actually turns into 95, so it gets really confusing. On to the next. Tyler's laughing. He's like, here we go, Matt. Now, what's going to come out of your mouth next? Lowell, Massachusetts, right? So Lowell is a great city. We have actually done some videos specifically about Lowell, and we did a vlog through Lowell, which is so much fun. And when I think about Lowell, I think Mill City. This was a very, very bustling as far as, I don't want to say agriculture, but as far as manufacturing was concerned, and actually textiles, that was a big part as far as Lowell was concerned. So Lowell just screams culture. You want to pull out the checklist with the check boxes. You can just check off almost everything when you go there because it's so diverse and the culture is absolutely amazing. The other thing that when I think about Lowell is Jack Kerouac, right? He was a novelist and just wrote some amazing pieces of literature. And it's funny because I was actually in a building in Lowell last week and they had all these different things about him. So, Lowell, again, that's near and dear to my heart. I had some family that grew up there, and same thing as far as Brockton and some of the other cities. It was a little bit of a challenge, and then it's completely redeveloped, and it just gets stronger and stronger. So Lowell, excuse me, a little frog in my throat. Lowell is definitely it's a great city that resonates well. Another city that's up towards Lowell is Haverhill. And Haverhill, I've gotten more and more exposure over to Haverhill in the past couple of years, basically because of real estate. And it's funny because when you say Haverhill, or I say Haverhill, the first thing that comes to my mind, I know this is weird, but the chicken connection, right? And So I don't know. Yeah, Tyler's laughing like, Matt, where you going with this one? We had a show here called Phantom Gourmet. They used to do all these tours of restaurants, and the Chicken Connection, like they just were like, hey, listen, they got the best chicken fingers on the face of this planet. Big cafeteria style. So I was up there years ago. My wife and I decided we were traveling up through there. We didn't have the kids. It's not like it's a fancy restaurant by any means. It's cafeteria style. So if you don't like sitting with people you don't know, you definitely want to do takeout because you might get a little, kind of skittish if you have someone sitting next to you don't want to talk to. That also is great to meet new people and expand your network. So I won't keep going on that tangent. But I got to tell you, like those chicken fingers, like they were really good. So. The best on the face of the planet, I don't know. This is not a video about chicken fingers or chicken tenders, so we'll get away from that. But Haverhill's another really diverse area. It's what I really like about it is it's got oh my gosh, I was going to say the Neshoba River, but that's not true. The Merrimack River, the mighty Merrimack, runs through, and there's a beautiful area called the Riverwalk, and there is so many different subsections of Haverhill that have different flavors, not necessarily food flavors. That's not what I'm saying, but different varieties, different tastes of what you like. So that's a great place. That's more on the North Shore, going up off 495, getting up into 95. So Haverhill's definitely a great place. You definitely want to check that out. And if you want some great chicken tenders, not chicken fingers, you definitely go to Chicken Connection. So and they're not paying us for this by any means. So maybe we'll get some advertising bucks on the back end. I'm just kidding. Now we're gonna swing back out to North Central Mass. Leominster, right? Or some people that aren't from the area, Leominster. That's not how you say it. We're not going to pick on you. We'll just kind of chuckle on the inside. So Leominster, I get a lot of I'm going to say weird feelings around. I don't get weird feelings around Leominster. I get different feelings. And the reason why is I look at Leominster. When I hear Leominster, like my investor hat goes on, because this was a target for any of you that might invest in real estate or want some unsolicited education on investing. You're going to get it here. So either fast forward or shut the video off if you have no interest. No, I'm kidding. Keep watching. There's more to come. So anyway, yeah. Look, I'm begging people to watch the video. That's so sad. That's so sad. I'm in one of those moods. If you guys can't tell, for those of you who have watched the videos, high energy today. I'm ready to roll. But Leominster. So you. Like a lot of communities, if you take Massachusetts, right, I'm going to do this backwards so you guys can see what this looks like, and I'll be backwards. So what I mean by that is you have Boston, Massachusetts here. Investing in Boston, prices got really high, so investors said, all right, we got to move out. So they went out to the 95 belt, which is going to be Waltham. And Waltham's a big, not chair city, cigar city, watch city. Of course, they had a lot of watch manufacturing. So people started to invest in Waltham because it was a little bit further out. So urban sprawl naturally pushed it. And then when that area got, saturated, then people moved out to North Central Mass. And that's where Leominster is. So Leominster, I look at that as kind of the gateway to North Central Mass and pushing out further. So I have a little bit of a passion as far as that community for investing. We have lots of family and friends over there. But some of the cool things about Leominster, so you have the two cities there. You got Leominster, you got Fitchburg, two different economies. They're right next to each other. Leominster is very accessible to Route 2, which cuts across the state, and Route 190 that goes up and down the state that goes right down to Worcester. It's like a super highway that no one goes on. So if you need to get somewhere fast from Leominster to Worcester, go there. So let's get off of that tangent. What's awesome about Leominster, lots of history. So they're actually referred to as the City of Plastics or Plastic City. Why? They had a lot of injection molding that they did, so you kind of have this. A lot of people aren't going to call it Plastic City, and I'm not saying that I'm that old to remember that, but that's a little fun fact. The other cool thing about Leominster is Johnny Appleseed. Now, I don't know if Johnny Appleseed is a nationwide figure. Tyler's putting his head up and down like, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, and he's very, you can't see his facial expression, but he's very convicted. He's saying, yes, Johnny Appleseed is a nationwide figure. So if Tyler says it's true, it's got to be true, right? He saw it on the internet.
He's got a Wikipedia page, yeah.
Yeah, he's got Wikipedia, and I think he saw it on Facebook. So anyway, so Johnny Appleseed, the story is that this guy, Johnny, right, I don't know where he got them, but he got a bunch of apple seeds, and he walked the, not the Appalachian Trail, it's the Mohawk Trail. He walked the Mohawk Trail, dropping apple seeds, and so you have all these, apple trees, from basically Leominster that goes all the way out to the western part of the state, which that's kind of Midwest, but anyway. So that's the fun little fact. They have Johnny Appleseed Trail, and Leominster has like the Johnny Appleseed Festival. They have a lot of, actually, their downtown area, they block that off and do a lot of festivals down there, and that's a really fun time. So Leominster's a great city as well. Now, we're going to go further out west, right? And this is almost, I think of this as like, kind of the world ends here, which is not true. That's the ego of Massachusetts. But Springfield, right? There's more past Springfield, Massachusetts. And Springfield, it's funny because we've done some videos and we've had some people's like, hey, don't forget about us. So we did a video of what's out in that area. We're not going to talk about that surrounding area. We're going to keep the spotlight right on Springfield. And I didn't go to Springfield a lot as a kid. I got to be honest. It was, I lived here, and anything that was like 10 miles away, like that was far away. And then like Springfield, like that's just keeps going. Like you might as well just have an infinite laser beam that just goes. However, when I think about Springfield, same thing. Lots of development. There's the job market, there's a lot of healthcare out there, so that really supports the community. And kind of a fun fact is the Basketball Hall of Fame is out there, so there is some tourism out there. I think the Dr. Seuss Museum is out there as well. My brother-in-law goes to a really cool comic book place out there. That's a kind of a random thing. Yeah, you tell us like what. And then the other thing I think about Springfield is the Big E, the Eastern Equine. I don't even know what it is. So the Big E, it's three letters of EEE, but it's basically a agricultural fair, and that started off with you bring who grew the biggest. I was gonna say popcorn. Who grew the biggest pumpkin? Who's got the nicest looking pigs? How do they keep control of their goats? Right? Kind of a world that I'm not into. I have an appreciation for everything and everyone. So when we sat down and kind of watched how they presented specifically the pigs, I go back to a time, it was really funny because there was like, I guess it was a gorgeous pig. I mean, to me, they all look the same. But the kid that like was in charge of the pig, he had that thing under so much control, and it was amazing because he had this look on it, like talk about the eye of the tiger, right? He had the eye of the tiger when like, as he walked his pig around the ring, he had such an intense look, and like he was locked in with one of the judges, like didn't break the eye contact. Like I felt uncomfortable watching this kid like stare down this other guy. I don't know if he won the blue ribbon. I think that's what you win when you, right?
Yeah.
What do you win for second place? Like a red ribbon?
Red ribbon. That sounds right.
And maybe yellow from third? Who knows, right? When it comes to fairs, we don't know how you rate them. We don't know what we're talking about here. Yes, we do. Sometimes. So so with the Big E, this is it's a cool thing. One of my favorite things about the Big E is because it's spread across there's flavors, if you will, back to that word. There's flavors or flair of all the 6 New England states. And what's really cool is on the fairgrounds, they actually have miniature buildings of the 6 state houses. So you actually do a tour through the state houses, and you're probably like, yeah, that's kind of boring learning about government. Yeah, I agree. Well, I take that back. It's important to understand what our government's doing or not doing. I'm just going to leave that one there. We're not getting political on the channel, I promise. We will talk religion. No, I'm just kidding. We'll talk about everything. We have no problem talking about it. We have no shame in our game. We are open to different perspectives. However, when you walk through these buildings, yes, they talk about some of the what's specific about that and about those states. But it's really cool because they have all the different things. So I'm thinking about Vermont, right? Vermont's well known for maple syrup. So you have all different things that have to do with maple syrup. Maine is all about lobster and all about blueberries. Massachusetts has a mix of things. Same thing with Rhode Island, Connecticut. There's different things there. I'm not going to get specific on it, but it's a really cool place to go check out. And it's turned into like a giant carnival. They have this place called the Better Living Center, I think, and it's all those things like as seen on TV. So of course, if you buy it that day, you're getting a huge discount. So let's move off of the Big E in Springfield, but definitely, not a place I've been a lot, but some cool things to go check out. All right, this one, we could park here forever. Quincy, Massachusetts, right? Or if you guys read it, you'll say Quincy. I know there's a CY there, but there's a Z. We slide a Z in there somehow. Quincy, Mass. And the reason why I'm kind of parking here, for those of you who've seen the videos, that's my home city, very near and dear to my heart. I can't I could be here for hours talking about it. What's great about Quincy? I mean, what's not great about Quincy? No, I'm just kidding. So, of course, it's right on the beach. I was very fortunate to be able to swim in that water as a kid. Kind of got over the years, but they've cleaned that up and everything's been great. Amazing restaurants right on the beach. You got these awesome restaurants. Of course, they have fried clam bellies. We had to slide that in there. However, Quincy's very, very diverse. It's on the red line. It's on the red line, which is one of the major lines that we have on our T, or also known as the MBTA, Massachusetts Bay Transit Association or Authority, one of those things.
Authority.
Yeah. Authority?
Yeah.
They're Authority. Okay. So that group, the MBTA, so the MBTA has that red line, which is one of the major lines. So for me as a kid, it was amazing because that's how I learned, not Massachusetts, that's how I learned Boston. This was back in the day when you could run free. We basically would, Saturday morning, jump on our stop at North Quincy Center or North Quincy Station, go in, hit a couple stops, then we'd basically get off, run around all day, kind of see what was there, get home before mom rang the dinner bell. Yes, we did that. Well, not really, she would yell, but the streetlights came on. We knew we had to be home for dinner, and we knew we were safe. And then Sunday morning, same thing, jump back on. If we didn't get enough to explore that day in that station, we would get off and do the whole thing all over again. So I learned Boston by from basically train hopping, right? Train spotting. I didn't ride on the roofs, I promise you. We might have jumped the tracks, but we didn't ride on the roofs, and I would never trespass. I just admit I might have broken the law as a kid. We're going to leave that there and let it fall flat on the ground. So, yeah, you want to know my dirty secrets? Go ahead, shoot me an email. I'll tell them all. I got no shame in my game. Just to help me to develop who I am. Where are we on this video today, Tyler?
I don't know.
Yeah, all right. So he's rolling his eyes. However, back to Quincy. Okay, so it's, again, another very diverse city. They've had, as far as development, there's so much going on there. So, it's a great, I look at that as the gateway to the South Shore, going down towards the Cape and to the South Coast. So, we did a video on Quincy. Go back, check that out if you want more details. All right, woo! Gonna slow down here. We made it through. Tyler's falling over from all the energy here. But that's just that's a handful of the cities we have here. We have so many more. So if you have questions about something specific because you're looking to relocate, you just want to come move here, temporarily, or just some ideas on what the state's all about, definitely reach out to us. We have different systems in place to get that. We've gotten flooded with inquiries, so we're working through the best that we can. We really appreciate you checking out the videos. Like I tell everyone, we have so much fun doing this. You can reach us any way possible. Like I said, when it comes to Massachusetts, this, we've always got your back.